What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Be the Trader. We've had some great episodes here recently where I did trader therapy, where I interviewed, or I'd say interview, we had a discussion with Jack Kellogg, Kyle Williams, myself, and Harry Haas. If you haven't heard that episode, go back and listen to it, and also interviewed them separately too on other episodes. That being said, this episode is to catch you up on how things have been for me. And, most of you know, if you've been following me for some time, that I got a real job full time and work part remote, part in the office. And I've been trying to get my groove in where I can figure out how to do both, because I believe I can. And I know a lot of you guys out there are trying to do both. So I'm trying to figure out, maybe share my lessons and maybe you can do it too. Now for myself, this past 2 weeks, the first week I pretty made no trade at all. I didn't make any trades, and you see there's a stock on the screen here. It's because I am in this trade right now that I'm going to review with you guys. So that way, if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to go to YouTube. You can watch this trade live and I can evaluate why I'm in it. But the first week, I didn't plan on trading much. And when I did trade, I traded so small, like a quarter risk that I normally do, because I was testing out trading while working. And I was able to do it. I was able to enter a trade, put my stop or a range order. What a range order is, just in case you don't know, it's whenever you put a stop and then switch it to range. And a range means you have a stop at the high and a stop at the low. So in other words, you have like a price target or profit target and a stop loss. When you set those, when one of them is hit, the other one cancels. So it's a really good way to trade and kind of set it and forget it. And that's what I did that first week and experimented with that, because it was my first time trading on Cobra Trader, DAS, same thing, but not really, but DAS Trader's platform on mobile device. And it worked really well. I don't know how well it worked in terms of like profit wise and so forth, but that's another thing I want to talk about. This whole month of December, we're on December 20th. I have not looked at my P&L this whole month. It's a challenge I challenge myself with. And I also have not even uploaded any trades. Now you're probably like, how do you know where you're at? How do you know if you're doing good? Those are good questions. I get it. But you know when you're up and you're down. And what's unique when I've been doing this challenge, I thought it was going to be, the whole idea was that it was going to help me prevent myself from over trading, only trading my setups, trading patiently, waiting for my entry, not trying to get rid of FOMO, getting rid of trying to make back losses, getting rid of trying to make money. And it kind of did all that. I actually wrote a blog post on my website, bethestory.net. The letter B, thestory.net. It's my first website I made, so give me a break. But definitely check it out. Read the blog, Micro Changes for Macro Results. That's a blog that explains what I'm doing. And it's helped me a lot. Like, I know when I upload at the end of the month, it's going to be profitable. It may not be. I mean, we still have a couple of weeks or a week left. The holidays, Christmas, where anything can happen. But let me tell you what's been happening. I place a trade, I set it and forget it. It's pretty much what I've been doing. You can look at the stock here, CBIO, and the reason I'm in it, excuse me, I've been getting over a sore throat, is it spiked from $4.70 all the way up to $8. Now that's a pretty good spike on big volume, 20 million shares. So this morning when it gapped down, I was looking at shorting it, but I did not short it this morning because I actually thought it could do what it did right here. And I'll explain why. Although it gapped down, if you look at the previous day, there's support all in these areas. And because of that, it was actually already gapping down. And I say these areas, let me explain to people who are listening on the podcast. It was a support in the $7. And it gapped down to like the 750s, closed yesterday in the 790s. So we're already gapping down pretty big. And then it immediately tanked to 7 real quickly. So I had no opportunity to get in. If I was, it's going to be a chase. And you see what happens to chasers. You get creamed. This thing spiked back up to 790, which you could have been like, you could have shorted, and you could have, because 791 was the previous close. Sorry if I said 8. 791. Man, I'm sorry, I'm getting over this cold, but 791, and whenever I thought about shorting, I was like, you know what? There's a high odds that this could still squeeze. We have tons of support. It's a Friday. Anything can happen. I need something to show me this is dead. And it showed me that. It immediately tanked, right? So I was looking for a bounce, which it never gave me one. So I didn't short it. I just kind of forget it. But you'll see here, you're probably like, why didn't you short it over here? Well, that's because for those who are listening, it tanked around like 8:40 Central Time and then consolidated for a good hour in the sevens, low sevens, 710, 718. And then started spiking with big volume to 770 and 80. After that price action, if you look at the chart, this is no longer a short for me because now we're squeezing all these early shorts. So if you would have took this short, good for you. But when this breaks, we're going to get a squeeze, and that's what happens. We get a squeeze up to the $8 and to 8.20, so it goes green on good volume and then fails and goes red. And that's when I got interested because now it showed me that it squeezed all the shorts out and it's still going red. So that means there's not a lot of buyers. And it held red for a little while. I actually started shorting after it showed me that I was going to hold red for over 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So I got in at the 70s and I'm still in it right now. But I covered most in the 30s. And then I have a little piece. I just covered some of the 710s. And I'm looking for 7 to crack. It may not crack, but I have literally 1/5 size. So I'm looking for the crack, and we'll see what happens. But this is possible because I have been very patient with my trading. I usually would be covering right away. I'd be panicking, be freaking out. I probably would have shorted this, chased it, took a loss. Or maybe I would have shorted up here, which I know this normally doesn't work. And I know it doesn't work because I've seen it so many times. And in the past, I would get in because maybe I had FOMO. Like I missed the first run up. So I'm going to get in now. Yes, here's the opportunity. Forgetting how it got there. How it gets there is so important. If it just spikes straight up out of nowhere after failing, maybe that's a good sign. Depends how that happens. But if it consolidates, double bottoms, 7, and then consolidates at a higher level, 720, then spikes on volume, that's a long. And some people probably took that as a long strategy. So I'm happy about how I'm trading it. I don't know what's going to happen. It may not break 7, but I think it's going to break 7. So I'm just going to hold it and see what happens for $1 a share. Yep, I'm going for that. So I hope this episode is helpful. And to let you know the challenge, just in case you haven't heard the challenge, you can listen to previous episodes where it talks about the December challenge. I'm not looking at P&L, and I can tell you it's helped me a ton with my FOMO. It's helped me a ton with my, especially on making back losses. And especially, you know that feeling when you take a loss and then you want to hurry up and make it back? I'm not going to say it's completely gone, but it's significantly reduced. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's all the way there and 1 being it's gone, I'd say it's like a 3. And that was a big weakness of mine. So it's helping me really see and believe in risk reward and understanding that I'm going to be wrong sometimes. But as long as I take the trades when the opportunity is there and let it play out, over time, I should be profitable. And playing this challenge, it helps me keep that in mind. So at the end of the month, we'll see what happens. But knock on wood, it'll be a decent month. It'll be profitable. We'll see what my risk reward is and so forth. But I wanted to share with you an update before the holidays. I'll probably release this around Christmas, maybe around then. But I have some cool things coming. If you are listening to this, thank you so much for the show. Make sure to give me a rating and review on Apple iTunes. It helps me a ton. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys listening. I really do. And if you have questions, man, comment on the YouTube videos. Send me on Twitter, Instagram. Go to BeTheStory.net. Make sure to sign up for the emails where I email you all my content. It's all free. I don't charge anything. But I want to build a community and I want to help as many people as possible. And I have some awesome plans for you guys that I'm hoping to get you involved. Like you saw the episode where I say thank you to the ones who have been keeping up with me since the beginning. But I have some cooler things I'm going to be doing, and that requires you guys to interact. So I really appreciate the ones who have been. Some ideas I have, I don't want to share it yet, but I'll keep an eye on it on social media. Sign up on that mailing, and I'll be sending it out to you. Other than that, thanks again for listening to the show. Thank you so much. I'm hoping this content helps you. And if there's anything that you feel like I should talk about, let me know. And again, it's Alex Bustos. Thank you for listening to Be the Trader. Take care.